This is my 2025 Triumph T120 Black, and I have been getting a few questions on the parts I have put on this bike, everything I've done to it. So I thought I'd do a little walk around and address those questions today. I bought this bike brand new in January of 2026, this year. In the wintertime, I live in Minnesota. It had 0 miles on it, so I didn't get to ride it till spring. But before spring, everything you see, I did to it. And I'm going to tell you right now, everything I've done. And if you're curious, what it costs. So let's start with the main things I've done, or the biggest thing I should say, is this Nitron TVT 22mm Fork Cartridge Kit. So it's got a full suspension. So with the Fork Cartridge Kit, my understanding, there's a little bit of machining involved. There's some ring in there to get the kit to fit properly. So I took the forks out myself, took them to UPS, shipped them out to A&J Cycles, New York, where I purchased them, and he installed them and shipped them back to me. It's a service that he offers, and I took well advantage of it because I didn't want to do that myself. And I also put the Nitron NTR R1 Shocks on. Now I have this same exact system on my 2023 Triumph Speed Twin 1200, except the Speed Twin are 25mm, not 22. And I liked it so much, I put it straight away right on the T120 here, and I'm really happy with the system. That is probably half the expense. So the other things I have done, we'll just start up front here. This is a Motone shorty front fender. And it's what I like about it, it's aluminum, anodized aluminum. And at first I wasn't sure because it's kind of a matte satin black. And I have the jet black, the gloss black, if you will. And I wasn't sure if it was, gonna go good together, but hasn't even fazed me. Put it on there and I think it looks fantastic. Really happy with it. I like the look. And okay. Staying with up front. The stock mirrors, you notice, are gone. I put these bar end mirrors on. These are Motone Turismo mirrors. And these are the 80mm, the small ones. They offer 80 and 100. And I wasn't sure if the 80mm, the small ones, were going to be big enough to see everything I needed to see. But I'm happy to report, yeah, they work great. And the mirror quality is fantastic. They look good, and you put them in the right position and you can see just what you need to see. Now you'll need to replace the bar end finishers if you put bar end mirrors on your T120. These are the Triumph branded because the stock ones, they wrap around and there's not enough room anymore for the stock bar end finishers. Now these plugs right here, these are also Motone. They're anodized black. They look real sharp. It's a real clean look when you delete your stock mirrors. All right, let's move down here to the radiator guard. It's the Evotech Radiator Guard. I got the exact same one on my Speed Twin. I like it. It looks nice without screaming, "Hey, I'm a radiator guard." And underneath it is the Baak Motorcycles Sump Guard. On my Speed Twin, I also have Sump Guard, but I chose the Motone. And I didn't want the same one, on the two bikes, so I went with this one, and I'm really happy with it. I think it looks Well, I think it looks sharp, to be honest. All right. Let's move down here. Oh, yeah. This little baby, got it on my Speed Twin as well. It's it's like the cheapest mod you can do, but I think it's got the most bang for the buck, to be honest. Okay, the exhaust. The pea shooters are gone. These are British Customs slash cut tips and the polished. And I went with the polished versus the black because you can get black also. Obviously it's a black exhaust, but I like that contrast. I think it kind of gives it a tuxedo look. I know something about it. I really like it. Now I still have the cat in my bike. I have the cat in my Speed Twin as well. And the plan was all along with this one is when I set out to buy a T120, I was actually looking for a used one because I didn't want to spend new money on one, but here we go. I ended up with a new one. And if I was going to get a used one, my plan was to take off the complete exhaust system and the cat, and I was going to put the Motone knotless system on this bike because number one, I think it sounds amazing, and number two, it looks great. So down the road, I probably will go with that system, but I'm really enjoying the simplicity of not having to mess around with anything. This bike sounds fantastic. I mean, that's Triumph. That's the Bonneville all on its own. You know, these are just tips. These are just like a finishing product versus having a blunt, you know, cutoff there. And I like that polished look. Or excuse me, stainless of the Motone knotless against that black. I think it's going to look really sharp if I go with that someday. All right, here. The seat. Yes, the seat is, it's a Crafton Atelier. I never learned how to pronounce that properly. I am sorry about that. But here is the logo. This is called the Rambler, full rib, tuck and roll, tuck and roll. And this is the Neo color, jet black. It's kind of shiny, glossy. And it's exactly the look I was going for. I'm really happy with it. And it is one of the most comfortable seats I've ever sat on. And if you notice, also, there is no rear fender on this bike because I took it off and installed the Motone V3 tail tidy, version 3. And it's kind of a modular system. You can put it together depending on the look you want to go for. So I have a little video on that kind of, so I won't get into it, but I chose the Eldorado tail light. I love that look. I think it looks sharp. And it has brackets to install signals right off the back, but I didn't want that. What I did is I bought the Motone Pico 3-in-1 turn signals, and I mounted them to the inside of my shock with ClassicBike Raisch inside shock mounts. See, it's not on the outside, it's on the inside. And I went with the 3-in-1 because besides just using it as a turn signal, I wanted them to also function as a brake light. Now you can have them as running lights too, but I didn't want that. I just wanted the Eldorado as my only running light. But when I hit the brakes, I wanted them to boom, light up as an extra, hey, watch out, I'm braking type of thing. And I have a little short on the wiring how I accomplished that. But yeah, I love it. They're very bright. I ride with my cousin a lot, and he says you can really see those when I, use the turn signal or hit the brakes. They really light up. So I'm happy with the whole system, but fair warning. If you're going to be riding in the rain, this is not the system you want. I rode through a wet street once. The fire department just cleaned out the hydrants, and so the street was wet. And I only rode through it like a block, just kind of a wet street, not even like, you know, no puddles or anything. And when I got to where I was going, my seat was just splattered with dirt and mud, and my back was filthy. So yeah, but I don't ride this bike in the rain unless I'm caught in it, so it works for me. But you know, keep that in mind if you're going to delete your rear fender. Okay, let's see here. The license plate. This is a British Customs shock mount. It's mounted to the bottom of the shock there, and it's made out of aluminum, heavy duty, and I love it. Some systems you can buy kits, they kind of stick out here and the license plate is out further. That looks good too, but I wanted it tucked up on my shock, so I went with the British Customs, and it looks fantastic. The only thing I'm kind of bummed on is British Customs doesn't offer a light, you know, some sort of LED light to light up your plate, which so far hasn't been a big deal. But eventually I'm gonna wire that somehow with a little light. Let's see here. Oh yeah, so what we have here now, if you notice, I got the Motone axle bobbins. I bought those to use my stand, you know, make it easy to lube the chain. All right, I believe that is it. Oh, I got one more thing, but it is not installed yet. I bought a Motone flat black, just plain black brake cap reservoir. I bought it right away, but I haven't put it on yet because I'm kind of digging this stock look, the classic look. I'll eventually put it on, but that's not a biggie. And speaking of classic looks, here's one thing I thought about replacing, and I probably will someday, because it's plastic. You know, that's a bummer, but I like the classic look of it. I think it looks sharp, so I've left it on. And speaking of the classic look, a lot of people change out these front turn signals, and that's cool. You know, everyone has different tastes, and that's the great thing about these bikes. You can make them to your personality, what you like. And I think they look great when they change them out, but for me, I like looking down and seeing that classic look, because I've done so many other things to this bike to change, you know, that I like a little bit of touch of that classic. So that's my 2025 T120 black, everything I've done to it so far. And I got a sheet, and I will tell you the final build price. The final grand total of everything I've put into this bike, besides the cost, is $4,715.98. That's how much it would cost if you bought a brand new T120 and you wanted to do exactly what I did. Now here, the suspension. A lot of people, you know, the stock suspension will be just fine for them. It's just me. I've raced motocross, and I'm just used. That's like the first thing you do to your bike is change the suspension. But is it necessary? That's for you to decide. You know, stock suspension probably do just fine. But if you took that cost away, that is $2,368. That kind of cuts the build price in half. Now that includes the $380 service fee A&J Cycles charged to put the forks in, and the $58 it costs me to ship them out there initially. But with that 380, that includes the return shipping. And that's also including the rear shock. So you take that cost away, that knocks your total down to $2,347.98. And I also have some tariff costs in there. So I bought everything basically in January, February of 2026. And at the time, I bought 3 things outside of the US because they were out of stock. And I had to, if I wanted them, I had to reach, directly to the company. The seat, for one, we have to buy directly from the company as far as I know anyways. And the tariff on that, it's kind of hefty. So I don't know how long those tariffs will be around, or, if the price changes or what. But you take the tariffs away, and it knocks the total down to $2,061.44. And you will have a classic bike with a touch of cool. I like to think of this as like a 50s, 60s hot rod looking bike. I don't know. It's just, that's what it reminds me of. So there you go. There's a little walk around. And I hope that answered some questions if you were thinking about doing it, and what it all entailed and the cost. All right. Have a great day.